Are you
Podcast
streaming as
time.
well?
Yeah, I'm podcasting. I'm streaming as well. I'm streaming and I'm recording it. So here we go. Those annoying
Hey,
YouTube people always censoring everyone. Yes, legit. And thank you, Mr. DungeonDrengr. My hair is very cute.
It is
Thank you for
very
putting
cute.
that
I like it.
in my chat, even though you could have
Everyone
just told
needed
me.
to see and hear, so it's very cute hair. So
Perfect.
now they've
Perfect.
got both.
Can you hear something that I can't? I
Oh.
can only hear Sean.
Oh.
Oh.
Shit.
I can hear Zenith. Yeah, Zenith is here and is doing stuff.
Does he have me? Does he have me like muted or?
Oh, there we go. You were muted from when we were in the same room together, and it was on my iPad.
Okay, right, okay. So all of that entire time you couldn't hear me saying anything to you. That was fun.
No, I just thought.
I
Sean
wondered
was
why
being
my
quiet,
own boyfriend
like,
was just blanking me completely.
I was sat here like, that's weird. Why Sean just stopped talking?
So Sean, normally when someone raids me,
Yeah.
because you just raided my Twitch channel, because YouTube people, if you didn't know, I broadcast this live on my Twitch, and so does Casper. How's Elder Scrolls Online? You were playing a bit of that, right?
Yeah, it was a good time. I haven't played it for ages since like playing it on the fall, so it's really cool to like get back into it and also to drag Joel into it because
yeah.
Pretty much my entire ESO career has been me being at someone like, hey, we should play this game, and them like, yeah, maybe, and then I play it with them, and they're like, oh yeah, good call, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, good call.
I played a little bit of it,
fun.
but I'm just not an MMO person.
That's fair. I didn't used to be, but now I kind of am just because I like them, but only if they're like fantasy ones normally. I don't normally get into like the Warframe is an MMO and is like I know that Sly really likes it.
Yeah.
And we played it together like when we were like teenagers on like Xbox, but I never really got into it. I was more just like, this is a game I can play with my friend, than this is a game I like.
For me, I kind of find that like I struggled. It struggles to feel like I'm hitting anything. I don't know how to explain what it means, but everything that I control and everything that I hit in an MMO, I think because of latency or something, the animations just don't sync right, and I really actually struggle with the feel of them, like walking around them and fighting things in them. I struggle with the feeling because it feels more empty than a single player game would. You know?
Yeah, I think single-player games have the like benefit of being able to focus on you're just one person, so you're not gonna do a load of random shit. But an MMO has to account for like everyone in that instance, and that could be like 50, 100 people. So.
Joel's in my chat and he just says that he understands what I mean and that some MMOs have really floaty combat. Floaty combat.
Really
that's the term I'm looking for.
I think it's just the subscription price that I'm not a large fan of. Like, I wouldn't mind if you just paid like 30 quid all in.
Well, Casper, have you ever considered Elder Scrolls Online? Because when it's on sale on Steam, it's like a $5.
I got it for a $5. I got the CD key for the base game.
Oh yes,
for like
keys.
£5.
I always forget they exist.
Yeah,
I'm just so used to having to pay full price for games from console.
Safian makes a good point that I think I made in your stream earlier, Sean. I don't like being forced to play with people I don't know.
Yeah, like sometimes.
Especially
when people just troll and like want to make it impossible for you to be able to do the thing. That you want to do. That's my experience of MMOs, and it's happened that someone's just like done something to really piss me off.
Yeah, there's trolls, but there's also like, if I want to crawl a dungeon, I want to do it either by myself or with my friends. I don't want to do it with some. I don't want to be forced to do it. Yeah, the Dungeons and Dragons Online Neverwinter. Me and Casper played it, and we had an okay time with it until we realized that in order to get a dungeon, we needed at least 3 other people. And no one else we knew played the game at the time, and we would have had to just get strangers in, and I just didn't want to.
And you had to be like level 15 to add people as friends.
Yeah,
so it took us
ridiculous.
So it took us like at least 6 hours to get to this then we tried to progress.
And then there's just people like Sly. Then there's people like Sly in my chat who's just put Warframe !! And shut up, Joel. MMOs are great, and you are just a ween. But so you know, there are people that like them, and you guys have played a considerable amount of MMOs on stream, so I can imagine that there is something to be enjoyed in them. I enjoyed Black Desert Online a little, but not enough to continue playing it for a very long time, you know?
That's fair, that's fair. I think, like, I got into it when it first came onto PlayStation, because it hadn't been for years, and then they suddenly released it on PlayStation, and, like, it was kind of like a massive thing of it suddenly being there, so there was, like, a lot of people, there was a lot of hype, but also no one really knew what they were doing, because, like, it wasn't crossplay, so people couldn't bring their PC characters onto it, so PC players didn't really bother to come over. So everyone was kind of learning together, so it was nice that it wasn't like, all these people are ridiculously high levels and know how to have all the best stuff immediately and can stop other people from having it, so...
Yeah, that's one of the things that annoys me the most, is going into games with people who have been playing it for a very long time, because there's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it. I think if you're really high level in the game and you're playing with, and you're just introducing someone to it, then you can do that without being a patronizing cunt, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it is actually possible, despite what my experience with numerous people who are higher level than me when I've just started playing a game has taught me. It is actually possible to not be a dickhead when you're introducing someone to a video game.
That's part of the reason I just prefer playing stuff alone or with people who also haven't played it before the first time, because I don't know, like I just can't hack people that speak down to me because it's the first time I've played a game that's been out for 5 years and I've not picked up yet. So it's just it's just more fun to at least get to grips with a game alone. And a lot of multiplayer, like mass multiplayer ones, tend to punish you for playing alone.
Yeah.
And I'm someone who, I have a lot of friends, but I don't have a lot of friends that want to play the same sorts of game as me.
I get you, yeah.
I don't like that the sort of games that I can play is limited to the friends I have, or like it's really difficult trying to get 4 friends free in an evening. Now we're all adults to play something. Like,
I mean, you're friends with a bunch of streamers, so it's not that difficult.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, like.
Yeah, if you want to get friends who aren't streamers.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
then it gets very difficult.
I want to play something that I don't have to arrange beforehand.
Yeah,
I get you.
For me, Apex is definitely one of those.
When you were alone, I'd enjoy them.
Yeah. I would like to be able to go it alone in an MMO, and then if I wanted to, maybe I could do like my best example of this is the original Dungeons and Dragons Online. Because you could play if you made like a barbarian or a fighter or even a rogue if you were quite good at it, you could just play through the entire game without ever touching another human being. You could never talk to anybody, you could never interact with anyone, and you could do every single dungeon by yourself.
Yeah.
And I loved that. But then if you wanted to go back and redo those dungeons, the same ones you'd already done by yourself, but you wanted to do them on a higher level, they were impossible to do by yourself. But that's fine, because then you can, if you want to go back and you want to do it at the higher level with more people, then that kind of thing encouraged me to sort of make friends in the game and reach out to people and see what we're doing and where to go and stuff. And yeah, I like that way of doing it. But the more MMOs these days, I haven't played a ton of them, but a lot of them do seem to have that whole either play with other people or don't play at all. And I'm just like,
yeah. The only one I've played since RuneScape is that Dungeons and Dragons one we played. and I've not picked it up since because it punished us for not having a group of 5. Like, and I'm put off by them because of that. Like, because I've had that experience, I now probably won't play another one for 10 years. And, like...
I get you. Like, I know, like, most of the ones that I've played are ones that you do have to do dungeons in, and that gets really annoying when you're, like, forced to team up with people, especially when you have the issues of, in a lot of MMOs, if you are playing DPS, because a lot of them it's either tank, DPS, or healer. And I'm kind of lucky because I avoid this because I play tank or healer most times. Partly to avoid this, but like if you're a DPS, you get stuck in a queue for dungeons for like 2 hours. Because everyone's DPS, so like the DPS queue is just so long. So it's like if you're stuck behind a progression of a dungeon, you just can't progress. So
yeah, and it's just
like...
I don't know, it's not my ideal like way of doing it. I don't know. I keep making comparisons to Apex, which isn't a massive multiplayer online game, but it's certainly one of the best multiplayer games I've ever played where you can play with strangers. Because you do have tank characters and you do have mainly defense characters. You have support characters and healer characters, and you have DPS characters, but but every single gun is exactly the same amount of damage no matter who's using it. You know? So the sort of powers that are built into them, like Gibraltar being a tank because he's got a shield and he moves slow, so he has just like just that little bit more health, which can sometimes be a savior in some things. Or Wraith's like really fast and small, so she's hard to hit. And then Lifeline's just Lifeline. All of those kind of things are built into it, but you don't have to sort of be... because all the guns do exactly the same damage, it makes for easier sort of balancing, and not everyone's going to be like taking exactly the same route as everybody else. And just as you say, like filling up the queue with
there's lots of different
DPS
ways to play games like games like Apex. Like I assume it's the same with Fortnite. I've never played it. Well, I have. I played it once, and an 8-year-old beat me, so I felt so ashamed. I went back to it.
Awesome.
But there's loads of different ways you can play that. Like you can build, or you can kill, or you can hide from. Like. There's lots of different ways that you can play games like Apex and Fortnite because they are quite similar.
Yeah.
But they don't punish you if you want to play alone. It is more difficult to play them if you're alone, though. Like it is easier. Like with Dead by Daylight, it's always easier when you've got a group of 4, isn't it?
Like just being able to like coordinate with people. Yeah. Like in Dead by Daylight, it's so much harder to go in alone. Like, the difficulty curve of being alone to even just having one other person who you can be like, where's the killer? I'm doing this generator. Oh, can you come heal me? Like, all that stuff. Like, having like 4 people is just kind of easy mode for it, even though it's still not that easy. But, you know.
I've tried to play alone a few times, and it's just really difficult because you've got one person who only cares about themselves over on the left-hand side. You've got me who's getting the people down from the hooks and the only one that's put down. And then you've got the ones that are like a second killer who take you off the hook right in killer. And you never know what sort of player you're gonna have.
You get the ones that lead the killer really directly to you. I hate that shit.
I always do that by accident, though. In all fairness.
No, I've had people run away from me with the killer following them, then turn around and come back. Like they run like past me and they clock that I'm there, they run away for a bit and then they turn around and they're just like, actually I could pass this killer off onto this guy. The second imposter. Yeah, I've got a lot of messages in the chat both for and against MMOs. The general consensus does seem to be that they're quite a good time, and I can see them being a good time. They're just not for me. I just rather I just rather play.
Like,
honestly,
RuneScape was good when I was a teenager.
I think this. I think the difference with RuneScape. I think the difference with RuneScape is that you could it was all turn-based. So it wasn't turn-based, but like the animations were kind of turn-based. You know what I mean? So if you walked up to fight something, then your animations of attacking would start playing, and their animations of defending and attacking back would start playing. But then you get like like Neverwinter, the Neverwinter on MMO we mentioned earlier, where all of you attack one creature at once, and it's just a massive clusterfuck of animations and hurt noises, and it's just fucking ridiculous.
It was a bit ridiculous, like. It was just, and like another thing was with Neverwinter was there was this challenge where we had to go and pick up things, and they were like dotted around the map. But the second someone else went to get one of the things that you were after, it would take 2 minutes real time to reset. So you just had to like run round in circles and wait for the thing to reset and hope that someone doesn't jump in and take it in the last second.
Kind of like eBay.
Yeah.
So you were saying a bit ago, Zenith, real quick, you were saying about like people being like dicks and stuff in MMOs, and like definitely big agree that there were a lot of people who were dicks. But I had this one time which was really pure. This guy invited me because we were just chatting for a while, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna run some dungeons with a friend, like with some friends. You want to come join?" And I was like, "Sure, I guess." And suddenly he had like a voice chat invite, and I was like, uh-oh, because here's me being like, yes, I am a man, and I don't necessarily sound like it. So like then they were like, oh, I thought you were a dude, essentially, when I joined, and I was like, I am, and they're like, oh, are you trans? Okay, cool, all right, cool. And then like they were like, this is a dude. They use he him, be good, like get their friends. And I was like, this is so wholesome.
I love that.
It was very nice,
really
but I've also
wholesome.
had people who come into it and then get really grumpy just because it's like, you're not using the meta, how could you? Fuck you, and not using your meta, and I'm like, okay, cool, well, I guess you're a dick, bye. I won't heal you with my non-meta healing.
What I did like was the role-playing aspect of MMOs, and it's something I would definitely like to explore more.
That's fun,
like I want to do some GTA 5 RP or something at some point, which, by the way, if we can all enter that as a group at some point, that'd be interesting. But also entering as a group is kind of against the point for some of them, because you can't like create a character and then
we could practice with like a large group of us in a private server.
Oh, a good one for that would be fucking Rust. I really, really would love to run a Rust server and try and get a bunch of smaller streamers in it.
Yeah, me and Joel played some Rust like quite a while ago. We were gonna stream some and then like never got around to it and started playing a load of different games instead.
I would love
it
to
looks
start...
quite good. We didn't get very far, but
I'd love to start a Rust server. I don't know how much effort and money and whatever goes into this, so this is just me sort of brainstorming without any knowledge of what I'm talking about. But I would love to start a Rust server and just try and get like between 30 and 60 streamers, just small ones, because there used to be back when Jacksepticeye was in it, and I'm sure some of the larger streamers still do it now, but I only ever watched Jack's streams of it. There was just like a streamer server for a bunch of like big streamers, and I looked at that and I thought, oh, that's fucking incredible. Why not do that, but on a small scale with all the smaller streamers? Because that would be awesome. Be cool. Because, you know, the amount of audiences and communities that you could come together from that would be really, really fun and interesting. And it would definitely be something that you could do a little bit of roleplay on, I think. Because it's for sure. It's so like, it's almost Minecrafty in its starter position. I don't know anything about the lore of Rust, but you know, you punch trees, you get woods, you build a shelter, that whole kind of thing. So your character could be anyone with any kind of like backstory, motivation, whatever, and just you could just roleplay through that, and I think that would be really interesting to try.
Yeah, I've like never really done much like roleplay stuff in MMOs, but I know playing Final Fantasy 14, you get little icons that you can put next to your name to like say like a little bit about you kind of deal. So it's you can put ones to be like, oh yeah, I'm a new player, or like I'm an experienced player, or like I'm someone you can come to if you need help, sort of deal. But there's one they put in there that's just says that you're a role player, and it just has like a little RP next to your name, and then like people come up and like just talk to those people like in their character, even if they're not role players, and it's just really cool to see like that person interacting with a load of other people. Like, hi, this is me, and I'm a really edgy cat boy. Wait, that's my character.
That's not a character. That's me in real life. Yeah, I think that kind of thing is really cool. Joel says RPs and SMPs are really good. Valheim's got mods for 20 people, which is quite nice. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Rust and Minecraft are there as always. Minecraft's a weird one. I think there's too much there's too much fucking going on in Minecraft, to be honest. I think like the amount of content they have brought out for it, and now they're doing a whole other massive thing that's going to be out between October and December. The amount of content that's come out for Minecraft, it's fully surpassed what I used to love about it, and now it feels too much. Like I can play Minecraft and it can be
and not
too
enough
much
at the same time.
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty much. Like I don't know what to do in it.
Like the other side of it just overwhelms me, like massive, because there's so many like little goals that you've got to do now.
Yeah.
And I just prefer building the big structures and stuff, and I want to go on it when the caves update comes out to go and see the axolotls, and then I probably won't pick it up for a very long time.
Are the like goats and axolotls not out yet?
There's been like it's two parts. The Caves and Cliffs update is in two parts, and the first part, which is the smaller update, which might include the axolotls, I don't know, that has just come out, I think. And then the second part is coming out, which is going to be like a whole new, like a shit ton of new stuff apparently is coming out in October to December. But what I feel like they're doing is just adding more and more, like
the website's loading.
They're adding more and more blocks and more things that you can get, like resources, and they're not giving you anything to do with it.
They're just kind of giving it to you and saying like,
maybe it's because I don't build as much as other people, but I have a distinct lack, even if I'm in multiplayer these days, of stuff to do, like a goal in mind. Like, what's the goal? Beat the Ender Dragon? Okay, done that. Like, what's next? Who fucking knows?
My goal was to build a zoo, and then I did it, and then I was sat there like, oh, now I've got to wait for more animals, so I can do it. In part 1, the axolotls are here, and
good.
Hopper. There's lots of different colours of axolotls. There's a pink one, there's a brown one, there's a white one, and there's a yellow one. The goats are incredibly cute, but also ram you, so keep your distance, or prepare yourself to fly through the air. But I can't find a picture. You can get moss, flowering azalea leaves, hanging roots, and a moss block as well as a moss carpet. I can't find pictures of the goats though. Oh, this is a gallery. The jellyfish added as well. The goats are quite terrifying looking. The jellyfish glow in the dark.
Silence made a good point as well. There was a whole the last update, the Nether update, added netherite, and all that does is really make a new set of armor and tools and stuff. And yeah, it's kind of ridiculous because honestly, by the time you get to the point like I've done the whole netherite farming and made a bunch of netherite tools and stuff. And by the time you get to the point where you've kitted yourself out with a full set of netherite armor and weapons and tools, most of the ones that you've kitted out are halfway to almost completely dead, so you have to just find more.
Yeah.
And it's just like an endless fucking grind for
really,
seemingly nothing, and it really doesn't seem to
It doesn't make
it doesn't
me
seem
want
to have
to
any
play it,
feel
that
like it
when
has
you've
any
finally
impact.
done this, like when you've finally done this, they've either released something better, so you've got to go and do it all over again, or the netherite isn't even that good. Unpopular opinion. Like the other ones are better.
It's not.
They last
It's
for
legit
longer.
not. It's really
Like,
not. Like it does last for longer
just
for
a
sure,
lot
but
of
it's
playing
not
for
good.
nothing in return.
Yeah, it does.
But I
It
do
would
want
help
see
to
the
have an
axolotls, so
actual goal. It would help to have it would help to have characters. I think what Minecraft really lacks,
like,
at least in its single player, is characters. Like because I was thinking then, because I was thinking about it as we were talking. Stardew Valley is pretty much Minecraft, but in 2D. You farm, you can build different sheds for your animals, you can go grind and mine ore in the mines and stuff like that. But the difference,
you can go and marry
is that you can marry Sebastian if you feel like it. You can go out, you can talk to the characters. There's a village. It feels like it has personality. You can, get different quests from these characters and go and give things to them to improve your relationship with them. And that kind of thing I find really special and really nice, and it makes me want to keep playing the game because I feel like I'm working towards a goal, or I'm working towards building a friendship.
Fallout 76 is what you're saying, is that Minecraft is just Fallout 76, but it's all squares. They need NPCs.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, legit. And they have villagers, but you can't talk to them. And I know, and by saying all of this, I know that there's mods for literally everything I'm talking about. But I want shit in the base game, goddammit.
Yeah, but we have to rely on mods to make the game feel good. Like, they should be
mods are great, and the modding community
mods are still good, and I love mods. But...
Yeah, the modding community for Minecraft is one of the most special I've ever seen. And it's real nice, but I want to be able to walk up to a villager, right click on them, and you get their little shop and everything, but then on the right hand side it's like, I could do with like 25 sticks, and if you do that I'll give you a coin or some shit, and then your relationship with not just the villager but the village as a whole improves. And then you can start, like, building defenses for it or something like that. So you actually start to build this thing. And you have, like, a personal relationship with the villagers involved or something. And they're not just going, at you all the time.
Like, I don't really care about anything in the game other than the building. Because, like, I didn't play Minecraft until I was, like, 20, because before I got to 20, I thought, what's the point of it? There's no story, there's no aim.
Yeah. Safi says... sorry, go on.
I eventually got around to playing it, and then, like, I only enjoyed the building stuff. Like, the rest of it feels like there's no point. Like, you don't really get much reward other than a blue jumper and a blue chest piece instead of a brown one. Like, it's just all a bit pointless.
Safian says, as someone who's never got into Minecraft, it seems a lot like dropping a mountain on someone and telling them to dig themselves out with a spoon. Which is an analogy I absolutely love. And Silent says, I wish that when you finish the tutorial in Minecraft, it had the single objective of survive. So do I, but the idea is to survive anyway, and in Minecraft, that's actually really easy to do. The hardest part of survival in Minecraft will be, like, the first 10 minutes before you get, like, wheat or slaughter a shit ton of cows. And then you're good. And then you will be good forever, perpetually, for the whole game.
It's just a shame that Minecraft Story Mode was just so bad.
I've been recommended a game called Hytale as well. Sorry, go on.
Because they could have done so much with it. Like, it was such a good opportunity to put put extra things into the game. Like, I bought Minecraft Story Mode thinking that I would finally get Minecraft and finally enjoy it, and it was awful.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I've watched people play it, and it's funny, at least.
Yeah, it's also a Netflix series now, like for kids, like a Choose Your Own Adventure, like the Black Mirror one. Which it would have worked a lot better as to start off with. Like, it shouldn't have been a game; it should have been a Netflix series.
And Silent says, "I've been told Minecraft Dungeons is fantastic. It is quite fantastic, actually.
It
I really
is,
enjoy
but
Minecraft
I don't
Dungeons.
like games that make you replay the entire thing.
I don't mind New Game Plus. I can't say I hate New Game Plus and then simultaneously have finished Resident Evil Village 6 times. So I think it'd be a bit hypocritical.
Like, I definitely say that. You're just a liar.
Yeah, legit. Right, should we move on from games, because I wanted to actually talk to Sean a bit, because I want to have some streamers on here at some point. Well,
and
at some point being right now, and other creators, and just like smaller creators from different platforms, because I want to talk a little bit about why we do this, like what are our motivations for doing this kind of thing, and how you get into it and how you can get into it. Thank you for the uwu, Joel. And what it could lead to, because I feel, and the reason, sorry, I'm rambling, but let me just explain a little bit about why I want to do this, and have these conversations, is because I wanted to be a content creator at 16, and I am now 23. So having, no motivation for that entire time, like, I ran into my first lot of criticism when I uploaded my first YouTube video and then never uploaded again for so many years, you know?
What's your first YouTube video? Like, that got criticism?
My first YouTube video I ever uploaded was a Let's Play of Portal. And it was garbage. But then I got told that it was garbage, and I never wanted to do it again.
To be fair, when you're that young, criticism
it really
does sting more. Yeah. But I want to talk about it because I see a lot of people get discouraged, and I see a lot of people be like, "Oh, I'll never quote unquote make it," or it's too much work, or it's too much dedication, or whatever. And I just want to talk about it to sort of paint the picture that you can do it, you know. So that's why I want to have streamers on here. But the question that I want to ask to sort of start you off on that kind of conversation, Sean, is why, like, for fuck's sake, man, I really need to mute my fucking sound alerts. I really need to mute my sound alerts.
I just saw the crab wave pop up.
I don't know if I can. Hold on, I'm going to try and disable the extension whilst you answer this question.
Okay.
But yeah, Sean, what got you into streaming in the first place? Like, what made you pick up that camera and sort of be like, yes, I'm gonna start? Or microphone is probably a better piece of tech.
Yeah, I just about had one of them when I started. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, kind of the same thing as you. Like, Ethan actually introduced me to Markiplier when I was like 17. I had pretty much never watched YouTube before then. Like, we saw like a Five Nights at Freddy's cosplay, and I was like, "Who the fuck is that? It's cool." And Ethan was like, "I'll show you when we get back," kind of thing. So then I was like, "Oh, Markiplier is cool." My first thing was like, "It's a scary game," and I'm like, "Oh god," but yeah, and I was like, hey, that's fucking cool. Like, if he gets paid to play video games, that looks fun. So I kind of started, like, slowly being like, oh, that would be cool, like, kind of privately, because I was like, oh, I'd never be able to do that. It's, you know, that kind of thing when you've been told, like, your pipe dream of being an actor, it's cute when you're a kid, but when you're in college, stop it, get a real job. Like, it was that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, well, if I, like, tell anyone I want to do that, then they'll just laugh at me. So I kind of didn't. And then I just carried on watching until I was like 20, and like, I think like being able to just watch something every day, because that was back when like Mark and Jack were doing like 2 uploads a day, and I was like, good content. like help me get through like really tough times with like depression and things like that. And I was like, it would be so nice to be a content creator and like kind of be able to be that person for someone else, and like uploading every day or like streaming every day and be able to be like a kind of little like solace area for people would be really nice. So I kind of got it into my head. I really wanted to do that, and then I made a YouTube channel originally in 2017, and did that for like about a month maybe, like uploading every now and then, just like random let's plays, like just recording straight off of my PlayStation, hardly hardly even doing any editing with it because I didn't really know how, and like slowly taught myself to edit, and I was like, I could do this, and then ADHD happened, depression happened, I stopped. And then kind of after Unasanis, I got back into it because the whole thing was like, hey, so why are you just like sitting around not doing those things you want to do? And I was like, good question. Ask my depression.
Yeah.
Like,
Talk to the depression.
So much of like what stopped me doing things was like having undiagnosed ADHD for like years, and having a lot of anxiety about it, and also having depression. So I was like, this thing that gives me no motivation, plus anxiety, plus even less motivation, nice.
Yeah.
And I like just finally got around to it because I was like, oh, streaming is like doing YouTube, but I also get the immediate serotonin of people talking to me, which like I was lucky that my first stream, I had like you and Casper were in my first stream, and we're just like hanging out.
What?
Yeah, the first, yeah.
So
it was like,
were we actually? No, that can't be right.
What?
Yeah, you guys were in my first stream. Me and Ethan put a link to our streams into the little messenger chat that we had when we watched Unasanis, and you guys came and like hung out. We were playing WD.
Yeah, because I
remember.
I don't really remember our interactions from that time, just because I didn't really like that was. When it was the death of Unasanis, so we made like Casper I think made a group chat, or was it Ethan made a group chat? I don't know. But Casper made a group chat with a bunch of us, and it was Casper, Ethan, me, Sean,
you, Roper, Liv, and
etc. Yeah,
I think it was.
Yeah, and we all got added to this group chat. At the death of Unasanis, because we were all watching the live stream at the same time, and that was
stopped talking.
It was really funny, and then we just stopped talking for like months, and occasionally like either Ethan or Sean would be like, "Hey, I'm going live, check this out," and I was just like, "Yeah, okay," and I did I think I must have checked out the first one then, but the only real ones I remember actually checking out are when I actually got into Discord and started talking to you properly. Because, I don't know, I just kind of left the group chat there and was just like, I forget that this exists. Now I've left the group chat. Now I'm not looking at Messenger. This ceases to be.
Object permanence who?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay, sorry. Carry on. I didn't realize I was in the first one.
That's pretty much it. Like, yeah, you and Casper were both there for the first one. It was kind of cool.
I can't believe I've totally forgot. I apologize.
You're the OG fans, guys.
The OG fans.
I know. I'm the #1 Sean stan. Sean stan, get out of the way. I'm gonna be the first one to get a DungeonDrengr tattoo.
I love it. I love it.
I think maybe.
And I am holding you to it for sure.
I think Sean, maybe you need to bring out some merch just so that Casper shouldn't get a
buy
tattoo.
It all up immediately.
Yeah, Casper should bring out a t-shirt so Casper can get that instead.
To say #1 Sean stan.
Yes. Yes,
in massive letters on the chest.
just pay a company to print you a bunch of shirts and get like 500 shirts, and on each and every one of them it says #1 Sean stan.
And then I ship them all to Casper and be like, nice, thanks for paying my way through uni.
To be fair.
And then I'll wear a different one for every day of the year, and I can take a picture and you can make a YouTube video out of it, and I'll be like that guy who like took a picture of his daughter every day for 20 years, but it'll be me and for 1 year. And then it'll go viral because you can say you don't know me in person.
Casper's got the entire plan. Yeah, it's not like this is recorded or anything, you know.
No, it's fine.
It's not like,
you can edit this
and
part
no
out.
one
It's all
could
good.
And then
ever
it'll
find
go
this.
viral, and we'll both be millionaires. So
I love
Great.
it. I love
the fact you have the whole plan set out as well, Casper. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember it this time tomorrow.
It's cool. It's all recorded. It's fine. You don't have to remember
Yeah.
it. The internet will remember for you.
Yeah, legit. Yeah, I think my motivations were quite similar in terms of like, I want to be a distraction from whatever is going on in people's lives, or with like the podcast and stuff. I want to send some kind of message or discuss some kind of thing or just get people talking about something, because that's what people have done for me through my entire life. Ever since I was 10, I picked up YouTube when I was 10 years old, and now I'm 23. And I've been watching Call Me Kevin that entire time, I think. Maybe not for 13 years, because I don't think he's been doing it for 13 years, but certainly for a very, very long time. And I've just had these different like YouTube and creator personalities through my entire life who, as you said, Sean, have sort of seen me through some of like the hardest points in my life. Like every breakup I've ever had, every time I've been sick or I've been depressed, every time I felt even like I was suicidal or anything like that, these creators have been there for me that entire time, with a shit ton of free content. And
exactly.
I feel like I really wish I'd started when I was 16 and I just pushed past the criticism, because I feel like I'd be so much better at it now. But just starting it now has definitely given me an amazing experience for myself, and I hope that I've had people come in my chats and say that they're having a bad day or whatever, and I always just say, please let the stream be a distraction, because that's what I'm here for. That's what we do.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, the goal with all content creation, whether you're making YouTube videos, whether you're streaming, whether you're writing a drama for the BBC, it's all, your aim is to just entertain people and distract, especially at the moment, to make people forget about everything that's going on in the world. Like, it's an important time to start creating, I guess. Like, a lot of people have like started creating at this time and have found solace in creating, because I find for me that when I've not got anything to do, I've always got a video that I can edit. That's always something I can do. That adds a bit of routine to my day if I don't have a routine.
Yeah.
Like, it's just as important to have that solace of creating for you as well as your viewers.
Yeah, the routine thing you said as well, like when I was going through college, that was like 100% like going through college was like the hardest time of my life for like mental health stuff. Like I was depressed as fuck, I was anxious as fuck. Like some days I would be like, I cannot face going to college, so I'm just going to sit in my bed and do nothing.
Yeah.
But like on the days I would go to college, it would be like I'd finish at 4. I knew that Markiplier uploaded at 4, so I knew when I got back I had something to do. So I'd just be like,
exactly.
when I get home I have this thing, and it's like that like ended up being my routine of like, I need to go on a bus for an hour, but once I'm home, it's worth it because I can now do something I enjoy. And it's like...
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people think it's dumb that the thing I enjoyed doing that got me through the day was like watching a video by like some guy I don't know, and it's like, but it makes me happy, so does it matter?
Yeah, it makes me happy. Funny internet man make mouth go haha.
Exactly.
Before I was gonna ask, I am gonna ask Casper the same question in just a second, but I just want to read some of these messages because they're very nice here. Safian says, I don't stream or anything, but I think one of the most vital things for getting going/keeping going would be support, either from friends or family or other streamers, which I think can just be applied to anything, but it's very good advice. I like that a lot. Because having that support in place is incredible.
And I think having friends on the same platform as you, like, really helps as well. Because when I first started YouTube, I had a group of friends who did it. I'm the only one from that group of friends that's videos now. But I did have a circle of friends who all made videos, and we talk about them, and we share, like, editing tips.
Yeah, like, you had that group of, like, support circle when you started out, and that's, like, the most important time to have it.
And I think without them and their encouragement, like, I probably wouldn't still be making videos 3 years later. Like,
yeah, because it really helps, and I don't think I would have been making being as consistent with my streams without the support of, well, you guys, really, because you guys definitely helped a lot in terms of like when I've had days where I haven't felt like streaming, I've still felt like playing games with friends, so I can play games with friends and still stream, and it really helps keep that motivation going, and that's it. It's quite a type of support.
And it's still important to, like, keep those circles when you've not just started out.
Oh yeah.
Like, because like, I find that some of my biggest supporters on YouTube are people that also make content, and, like, through the comments I've clicked on their videos, and, like, I've been the person that circle of friends was for me to them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So I get you.
It's like a circle. Like, when you become a bit bigger, you can be the support for someone else. It's just really nice and really rewarding to see your friends' content improve as much. Like, both of you two have become a lot more confident and a lot more fluid with your talking to your chats and stuff since you've started, and it's really nice to see people progress and people become more confident and stuff on the platform that they choose.
Yeah, I just want to read a couple messages real quick, and that is a good point, Casper. 1 second, sorry. Just Anamantite says, YouTube and anime are how I distracted myself from my problems. There's something therapeutic about watching a 20-something-year-old yell about attempting to locate a blacksmith, which I found quite funny. And Bottler Joel says, YouTube's probably saved my life countless times. So I think especially for our generation, it's definitely had a massive impact on our support and how we deal with things.
Plus there's YouTube videos about everything. Like,
that's true.
If you were to search "I'm feeling depressed," you would come up with a video by someone talking about it who's been through the same thing. Or if you, like, have asthma, if you type in 5 best ways to exercise with asthma, you've got a video for it. Like, anything you can think of is on YouTube, and that's the beauty of it. It's such a weird and wonderful place.
Yeah, I think there's something special as well about having a place where there's content that's really readily available by people who feel like people, because, like, everyone has, like, or, like, most people have, like, Netflix or, like, Amazon Prime or, like, that kind of thing, but the people on there are actors. So, like, it's nice to have a thing where you can be like, you can feel like you're friends with someone almost, like, because you watch their stuff every day, and, like, they open up so much about what's going on in their life. Like, even with keeping, like, some stuff private, like, a lot of people still share a lot. So it's like you can actually feel like they're real people who you can actually, like, connect to. You could be like, oh yeah, if I actually met you, we could be buddies.
I've always described listening to a live stream like hanging out with friends.
Like, Sean's point flows into a nice other point, is that yes, you feel like these people's friends, but part of the issue, my issue especially with being a creator, is that I have viewers that view me as a friend, and they message me and they phone call me sometimes, like, thinking that I am their friend because I've put these quite open videos out about myself. And
that can be
it's a really funny line that I've still not worked out. Like, I've still not worked out what is oversharing and what isn't oversharing, because I've been doing this for 3 years. I think it will take me a lot longer than 3 years to learn what is the sort of thing that I should just tell my friends. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
And talking a bit about your YouTube and how you've been doing with it over the past 3 years. Well, I did say I was going to ask you the same question. What made you pick up the camera, Casper? What made you want to start creating? Is it similar, or is
nothing like you two? Purely selfish reasons.
Oh,
because
oh, here we go.
Casper wanted that attention.
Yeah.
Because I have a stutter. I've had a stutter my entire life.
Yeah.
When I was a child, I couldn't say a sentence without stuttering. I still struggle to say my own name sometimes. So I started making videos as a form of speech therapy myself, because speech therapy never worked for me. And I'm an adult now, so you can't get speech therapy as an adult. So a group of friends were like, you do Instagram, because I used to post reviews of sensory toys and stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
Primarily just Instagram. And then some of my friends were like, make a YouTube channel. Speaking to a camera could really help you with your speech.
Yeah.
And here I am today, like stringing an entire sentence together without stuttering.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't go into it expecting to still be making videos 3 years later, to be honest. I expected it to be a short-term thing that I would just carry on as I got over my speech issues, I guess. But it's become a lot more than that. Like, I don't have a large community, but I've made some of my best friends.
I mean, you've got the largest community out of both of us combined, Casper. It's sometimes difficult to remember, just because we're on two completely different platforms that operate in different ways. But you actually have 1,000. You have over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Over 1,000 followers on Instagram, and it just keeps snowballing and getting faster. Like, I think you started the year with 1,000. Now you're on 1,200, and we're not even halfway through the year yet.
Yeah.
So you're definitely picking up speed with it.
It's a lot of pressure, because I make autism content, as you know.
Yeah.
And again, it's with, I don't know what's oversharing. I don't know what I can and can't say. Like, the other week, I pulled a video completely because I figured it was probably offensive.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of pressure, but I do love it. And like, you two like the interaction of chat. I realized I've done a few Twitch streams and I can't do it because of my stutter. Because with YouTube, I can film a 15-minute video. It's 5 minutes is me trying to get out a word that begins with D.
Yeah.
I can edit that out. With Twitch, I can't do that. So the anxiety around my stutter is still there. And through doing a few Twitch streams, like, I'm fine with doing it with other people, because if I'm having a conversation with somebody that I know and that I trust, and I trust you both, then I won't stutter as much. If I'm talking to myself, I will stutter, and there'll be points where I can't get words out. And I'd like the magic of editing, honestly.
Yeah,
even though I have started editing my videos less and I have started editing my videos less and less, and eventually I want to get to a point where I can just upload the raw footage and people will still watch even though I stutter. That's the main goal, is to be comfortable in myself that I can upload a stutter, be comfortable with it. And part of it is becoming comfortable with myself, because since starting the channel I've had a lot of diagnoses, and speaking to my audience about them helps. Like, yeah, it's just nice.
Yeah, well, I think there's still a very good reason to get into it, is to have but not everyone has a stutter, so not everyone can relate to that part specifically, but just self-confidence perhaps, or anything.
It just
like,
makes me feel a bit
if you're worried
selfish,
about
'cause
your
you two are
physical
like...
appearance, or no, that's not selfish at all though. You're just trying to better yourself, and you make a lot of selfless content.
Yeah, I've seen your content. A lot of it is like, it's gonna be really helpful to people who are going through the same things, because like there's gonna be a lot of people who like my brother is autistic. I have ADHD. I didn't know what like stim toys were for ages. If I'd found out what they were earlier, like that probably would have been really helpful to know, you know?
And that's where the majority of my views come from, is people that stumble upon my channel and they're like, actually, yeah, I don't need to be ashamed of needing these aids, because they're aids.
Yeah.
And that's really nice, but obviously you do have the odd hate comment. Like recently, I've been getting one hate comment a day.
It happens. It happens.
On my trans video, and it's not stuff like you're trans, you're a girl. It's you should go and kill yourself for trans and stuff like that. And that has got to me, so I've just made the decision in myself to not make a video about trans stuff for the next few months, because I don't want to be dealing with that stuff, really.
But I'm also of the mind, like, you know, that's how they win. If you
like,
stop talking, then the hate comments win. You're still gonna get them. You're always gonna get them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing to do is probably just delete them just so that other people who might not have such a thicker skin don't get upset by them. But it's still, like, don't ever stop being you, you know? Don't ever stop creating and being yourself, and talking about yourself, and talking about the things that you go through, because you do make a lot of selfless content. And as Sean said, you know, there's always people out there who will need to know some stuff.
But I'm just, one day I'm just concerned that I'll get a comment that's like, why did you speak about that? Because I do quite often speak about my mental issues around that and my health in general. And I've always been concerned that I'm oversharing. Because some of the stuff I've said in some of my YouTube videos, some of my friends don't even, like...
Yeah.
In a way, it's a form of therapy, I guess, because it's nice to...
I feel like it's dangerous to paint it at that. It is all... It's very well and good to have, like, to boost your confidence and share the things...
as an outlet.
But it's an outlet, yeah. It's not necessarily therapy.
But it's
definitely not a replacement for
therapy as well.
Yeah, legit. I just wanted to like say that.
Therapy was the wrong word. Outlet was the correct one.
So what would you guys... I think I've heard your answer to this question before, Casper, but feel free to add your answer after. But I'm going to direct this mainly to Sean, but it is for both of you. What would you say to picture yourself just before you picked up the camera, and imagine that there are a ton of people who have the same doubts or the same motivations or the same whatever in mind, but just haven't picked up that camera yet for whatever reason? What would you say to them? Like, they want to do it, but they haven't. Like, it could be depression, it could be lack of confidence, it could be anything. What would you say? What would you say to that person, Sean?
Just fucking do it. Like, legit.
Yeah.
Like not even like, oh, it's that easy. Like, it literally is. Like, it's not.
It gets easier.
It's not cheap to start. Like, it's not really cheap because
straight from your phone. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's
like,
possible to
most people
like...
have a phone and can do that. Yeah, like streaming for me. Like, I had a PlayStation anyway. Like, I've since upgraded to having a PC, which like was a lot of money.
But you don't need to spend a lot of money.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. Like,
there's people like me and you, Sean, who will, because I guess we're idiots.
Will be like, we're going all in. Us,
yeah, like, legit.
How
I
many
spent
followers
way too
did
much.
I have when I got my PC? Like,
I didn't have a single. I didn't have a single follower.
50.
I had 32 subscribers on YouTube and 0 followers on Twitch. And I spent over £1,000 building my own machine and getting a microphone and stuff. you don't need to do that though. If you
Oh,
can
yeah,
do that,
absolutely
do
not.
it, but you don't need to.
I think I finally bought a camera when I hit like 800. Like you don't need a camera and you don't need high-tech equipment like at all. Like
No.
it's a bonus, but if I still record videos on my phone if I can't be asked setting up my camera or I've forgotten to charge the battery. And nobody can bloody tell because my phone's camera is just as good as the camera that I bought.
Yeah, most phones have a good enough camera for it.
And there's films, like feature-length films that have been shot on the iPhone 6. Like, if you don't have the equipment, don't be put off and just do it. Is my
I like just do it. It's such a meme, but it is honestly the best advice that I'd give to my quote unquote younger self. I was fucking 22, so it's like a year ago. Which is literally just to do the thing, because you're not gaining anything from not doing it, and the only thing you're gonna lose by doing it is the lack of confidence you had that stopped you from doing it in the first place. You know?
Yeah, it's just a positive thing. Like,
yeah.
Even if you use it as a form of speech therapy and nobody watches for the first year and a half. Like, nobody watched my videos for the first year and a half.
Absolutely nobody watches this podcast on YouTube. When I say that bit at the start, like the YouTube people can't hear you. The YouTube people haven't been listening for a very long time, and that's okay. You know, I'm hoping eventually someone will, and it does happen. Carry on.
But you've just got to keep on going for yourself. And I'd be lying if I said that when no one was watching, some weeks I couldn't be asked for. Like there were months and months. I stopped uploading for a full year because my friend died, and and that was obviously tough. And when you're going through that shit, you don't want to edit a video for no one to watch. It's downheartening. And but I eventually got back to it, and people were still there to watch. Like, if you need to take a break, take a break. And if you don't want to upload for a few months, just don't upload for a month. Like, there's no stress, and it's no point stressing yourself out with it, is another piece of advice.
Because... Like, I think as well as that, like what you were saying with there being, like, you kind of couldn't be bothered when no one was watching or listening. I think, like, with Twitch streaming, because, like, I pretty much gave up on doing my YouTube, like, as soon as I started streaming, because it kind of just it ticked the right boxes for me.
Kind of same,
What I've noticed
all that kind of stuff.
It's
like,
either one or the other.
Viewer, yeah, for sure. Like, people who I used to watch on YouTube are now moving on to Twitch, and they're doing way less on YouTube, and they're doing Twitch stuff, but also there's stuff going the other way of, like, people I followed on Twitch are now moving on to YouTube, and I'm like, I guess it is just like most people just do one or the other.
But
like catch me over at Facebook Gaming next year, boys. Let's go.
Don't.
I think like it's important to remember that like even if you just have one viewer on Twitch, that's still one person who's taken time out of their day to come and sit with you and play games with you and like chat with you, like, or even if it's just like one person is lurking, like. That's still someone who made the effort to like open up that tab and to set that up so they could lurk you, so they clearly care about that much at least. And everyone starts with like one viewer, like even the people who are right at the top, they started with one person, so.
Even if it's just one person who comments on your videos, like I distinctly remember there was this guy called Nick, and he doesn't watch anymore, but he was like my first ever subscriber, and every video he'd comment like, "Hello Casper, how are you today?" Or, "Hello, Casper, how's your day been?" Or, "Hello, Casper, I've been to the doctor today and I got referred for an autism assessment." Like, it's that sort of thing, like, that makes it worthwhile, is the one person in the every 50 that watches my videos that says that I've helped them. Like,
yeah, that makes it worth it, you know? Like, I had a really nice thing when I uploaded a video to my YouTube, like, a week ago, I think, because I was like, you know what, I have, like, some free time now, like, uni's done, I'm streaming and I want to start going back to what I originally wanted to do of like taking my streams and editing them down and stuff to stuff I can put on YouTube. So I can technically just stream, but also technically do both. It would be the one of the special ones that does both. But like, I had someone who had like subscribed to me ages ago, and I haven't uploaded other than last week since probably a bit after Christmas, maybe.
Yeah.
And they just sent a like comment like, "Hey, welcome back," and I was like, "Oh, thank you." And it was like just very pure. Like they don't have to comment, but they did because they like had stayed subscribed for like months of me doing nothing.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm like, what a fool! Still subscribed, but also please stay subscribed. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah, like there will always be people there to click on that video or there to something.
Yeah, exactly. There'll always be someone.
I just wanna read a message that's been sitting there for a while because I didn't want to interrupt anyone by bringing it up.
Is it Moobot's message of enjoying the channel? Consider subscribing.
Yes, that one. So Moobot says, enjoying the channel? Consider subscribing. It helps a lot and makes the channel grow. No.
Have you considered subscribing? Zenith needs you.
Have you heard of Twitch Prime? No, it's Animantite from earlier said, to relating to the thing we said earlier, but I just wanted to read it out because it's a nice message. Another thing that I think helps a lot is that a lot of the YouTubers who I personally enjoyed were such genuinely good people who care about others. And seeing people who care about others in such a heartwarming and liberating, is that liberating a word?
Yes.
Is it? What does it mean?
It's like it takes a weight off kind of thing.
Okay, such a heartwarming and a liberating feeling that kind of draws me in. Which like there's been a lot of good stuff. Like Sean, you did the pause to play thing last month as well as me. Was it last month we did it? Was it March? We did it for, or May?
That was the second time I've done it.
It was April, right? It was April.
Yeah,
it was April.
Possibly.
It was April, and like I've had some successful charity events over here on my stream, and
you've had some really good ones.
You create something really, really great that's bigger than you and bigger than your community, that you and your community can both help build towards. And it's amazing having that, and like I've every time I've hit a goal for charity donation, I am always blown away by the generosity of people, because I never expect it. Like I grew up I got pulled out of primary school due to bullying. And then I went back into high school and got bullied a lot. So my perspective of other people being kind was kind of twisted by the time I'd left college. And it just reminds me a lot that like communities and the streamers that they're surrounding can really, really make amazing things. And that's just incredible. That's
especially
really, really
with all
amazing.
the hate going on in the world at the moment.
It's definitely needed.
It's nice to see people being kind to each other and doing nice things. And on that note, I'm gonna have to duck out, but I think that's a good note for me to leave on.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us, Casper.
So
I've got a couple more questions, Sean. If you're okay to stay.
Yeah, that sounds good with me.
Okay. Well, thanks you for joining us, Casper, and I'll talk to you in a bit.
It's cool to hang out with you, Casper.
Week for people listening, and I will see you tomorrow, Sean.
Oh yeah, tomorrow. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, you guys can meet up now because you're both in the same place.
Yeah, we're gonna meet up in the meatverse.
I love it. In the meat factory.
I'll message you both when you're.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Well,
sounds good.
Thank you for chatting, Casper. I'll talk to you.
Goodbye.
Soon.
How
Bye.
do I leave on my iPad? Bye.
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 Right. He's gone. It's fine. You can be your true self now, Sean.
Oh, finally, it's time.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you got a sort of a time limit? Because obviously we usually
not
only
really,
go
no.
for like an hour, so but I still got some stuff that I wanted to talk about because we talked about
Yeah, we've
games
been
and
rambling
stuff
a lot
right at
about
the
things.
start, which is all well and good, honestly.
Oh yeah, it was a good time.
But I kind of wanted to just sort of know what are your goals? Obviously there's always like every like it would any streamer that's starting out that doesn't say that being cool, famous and rich would be really really nice is lying to themselves and everyone around them.
Yeah.
But
no, like being
other
cool,
than that,
rich and famous would be so nice, but like
yeah.
also
Yes.
I'm realistic enough to know it's not happening yet.
Yeah,
maybe later,
no,
but not yet.
maybe later. But like,
I mean,
what are your goals? I guess
on
more.
podcast 850,001. Maybe it'll happen. This is how
Yeah,
this is how I get big.
This is how you get discovered.
That's it.
But like, what are your goals with streaming? I mean more like. I mean more like short-term goals, like when you do a stream, or when you, or it, like within the next year, what have you been hoping to achieve, either like for yourself or for your community or for something else or whatever. Like, it's a hard question to explain, so it might be a hard question to answer.
I get you.
But more the abstract concept of achieving rather than the let's be rich and famous and cool, you know?
I mean, being rich and famous and cool in next year would be nice.
Oh, that would be great, but that's...
that would be so nice, but like...
Yeah.
I think... I mean, obviously I want to keep growing the community, and I want to keep doing, like, charity stuff, because I think that's... Like, my first stream was as prep for doing a charity event.
Yeah, I remember. Now you've mentioned
streaming.
the fact that me and Casper are in the first stream. I do actually remember that shortly
Memories
after that you were like, "Oh yeah, also I'm doing this charity thing."
Yeah, like me and Ethan both started up streaming because I was like, "Hey, Una-Sana just ended, and they told me to like fucking get off my ass and do stuff I want to do, so I'm gonna try and do that." And also, there's this like pause to play thing. Like the first time I did it, my second stream was for pause to play.
Oh, was that last year as well? Pause to play.
Yeah, they had one in December, I think, and it was less of a like month of playing games for this much time and more of just a we're doing pause to play, raise a bit of money. Like it was less structured than this one.
Yeah.
But I like saw a thing for it and I was like, hey, YouTube, I'm not really feeling it, but streaming, maybe that would be good. And clearly it was, and I'm amazing at it, so it's great. But yeah, I was like, I want to do a charity thing, so I dragged Ethan into it, and that was a good time.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect to hit any goals. I hit I had a £50 goal, and I hit that because like my family came through and donated pretty much.
Did they let you set a £50 goal? I've never been allowed to set a £50 goal.
I had a £50 goal for myself.
Ah, okay. That, to be fair, same as well. Like my first charity stream, I wanted to set the goal lower. I wanted to set it to 50 and just be like, yeah, I'm not gonna get to 100. I need to do 50. Like, I'm a smaller streamer, and if I do 100, people are gonna think I'm taking the piss or whatever. And then we got like 110, I think. By the end of it,
went over
and I was
the goal.
just like, holy shit, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I had the same thing when I because the £50 goal, you know how pause to play had like the little like incentives for like getting so much money raised, of like, oh yeah, if you hit this much, we'll send you some socks, and this much is a badge.
I got the socks. Have you got it yet? By the way, did you get your package?
Yeah. I have like the t-shirt, the medal, socks, and a little badge, and they're all really fucking cute.
Oh, the badge is my favorite. The badge with the little cat on it. Where did I put that? It's around here on my desk somewhere. Oh yeah, I got a little cat because I was playing for Team Cat.
Yeah. If they do it again, I'm gonna go for Team Rabbit because that's the cutest badge. It's just a little round fluff ball. It's so cute.
Yeah. I love that challenge. Yeah. Sorry,
my £50 goal was because the first time I did it, it was just, if you get £50, we'll give you socks, and I was like, I want them fucking socks. So
Right,
I was like,
yes.
£50 goal.
Let me achieve the socks.
Let me achieve socks, please. And I achieved socks because like my family were like, okay, here's donations, cool. And I was like, thank you, family, I appreciate it. And then this time doing it, it was like actual people who would just stumble across my like stream would be like, oh, you're doing a charity thing, here's some stuff towards it. And like I had a £250 goal and we hit it.
Yeah,
like there ended up being like a problem with like some of the donation, like something didn't go through, so like £15 ended up getting knocked off, which was like
that's disappointing.
A shame, but it happens. So it's like
it does.
I didn't get the hoodie, so sad. I didn't get things out of raising money for charity. Oh no.
Shit. Yeah,
a warm fuzzy feeling isn't enough if I don't have a warm fuzzy hoodie.
I didn't look at the rewards thing because I was just like, I don't want that to be in my head because I am someone who definitely likes to have a reward for things. Like, not gonna lie, getting socks is nice. Like, I enjoy that. But I didn't want that. I didn't want that to be in my head whilst I was doing the charity thing. I just wanted to be it to be the charity thing. So I didn't actually look at it. And then I forgot to look at it after the stream was done. So after a while, I just got a surprise package that had like some socks and a shirt and a medal in it. I was just like, oh, that's nice. Present. But yeah,
I mostly saw it because I was like, I read the entire page to make sure I knew exactly what was happening with it.
Yeah,
because
you
I get so much anxiety that I'm gonna like fuck something up. And I was like, okay, so the highest thing is 250. I'm gonna set that as my goal because fuck it, why not? So like, I remember you started with your like 100 goal, I think.
Yeah.
And I went in with like 250, and I was like, maybe I should have gone lower. Am I pushing it? And then like it turned out it was fine. We pretty much hit it. So I was like, hey, fuck yeah, nice, love to see it.
Next stream, next charity stream is 10,000. That's
oh yeah.
What I'm hearing is £10,000 goal. Okay.
Well, I mean, we timed the first one by 5, so if we do that again, then the next one's gonna be like 1,250. You know, like we're just gonna keep timing it by 5 until we get to like. And now we need to raise 27.8 million. Let's go.
Yes, let's make it happen.
Even if we don't hit it, we still times it by 5.
Yeah. So you want to. So goal wise, which was I think the original question.
Yeah, we got stuck a little bit.
It sounds like you kind of just want to make something good with the channel. Obviously keeping growing and stuff for yourself,
like,
but.
I
just
have
keeping the charity
like,
streams going.
Like personal goals with it of like I've started streaming ESO now. ESO has a thing called like the stream squad basically, and it's if you stream ESO like once a week for a couple months, you have 1,000 followers, and like you basically don't shit talk that game on stream, which like I wouldn't do because I like that game, so it's fine.
Fair enough.
Then like. They have like stream squad, and if you stream ESO, they'll like promote you on their site, and they'll like promote you if you run any like drops kind of things.
Sponsored by Elder Scrolls Online, huh?
Exactly, yeah. Like I really want to join that because I think that would be fun, and also like 1,000 followers is a way away, but it doesn't feel impossible.
I
like it did. I checked my diary because I was like going back through my planner and stuff to be like, what have I done? And one of my goals for the year. Like, for the entire year, not even for, like, a month or, like, a quarter or anything, was to hit 100 followers. I was like, if I can hit 100 followers by the start of 2022, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
And, like, now I'm at 170-something, I think, and I'm like, oh, I'd forgotten that was a goal.
Where did these come from?
Keeping me humble.
Look at all these followers.
Look at all these followers, all the attention. Yes. I just need enough attention to get, survive day to day. It's fine. If I don't get the attention, I'm gonna wither away. Yeah, it's fine though. Like,
yeah,
if you want to. It's not like I'll die if you don't.
The first time I realized that, holy shit, this might actually be possible, to do something on it was when I got my first kind of donation. You know, it's not donation. It's they're bits, right? I don't think you can call them donations.
Yeah. No, Twitch doesn't like that.
Yeah, like when I got my first lot of bits, I looked at it and I was just like, it was only like a tenner's worth of bits or whatever. But I looked at it and I was just like, this is actually possible. And I never like, I was just streaming and I was just being like, okay, yeah, I want to make something of this if I can, but how long am I going to be doing this before I get anything? Am I not just going to be streaming to a brick wall for years, for the next 2-3 years before anyone actually comes in my chat? And I got my first £10 worth of bits and I just looked at it like, yeah, I think I can actually do this. I think I can actually make something out of this. And then like I hit 200 followers. We're almost at 300 now, and I'm just like, holy shit, stuff's actually happening, and what the fuck?
Yeah, like my first thing of that of like, hey, I could actually do this was like, I don't know if you remember when I had that like insane stream a while back.
Which one?
Like the one back in February, I was streaming Concrete Genie, and I was just streaming it off PlayStation, so I didn't have like my webcam or my overlay or anything like that set up.
Right.
And I started off like first hour, it was like, oh yeah, 5 people in chat, very cool, like 5 viewers.
Oh,
with, like,
I know the one you're on about.
With like less than 50 subs.
Yeah.
Like, well, not subs, less than 50 subs. I have that now. Less than 50 followers. Very nice, very good. We love to see it. And then it just like slowly started going up, and I was like, oh, 10 viewers, cool. 20 viewers, also cool. And then suddenly it's up at like 200 and something viewers for like the last 2 hours of the stream, and I was just like, fuck. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna stop streaming this. Like, I need to eat, but I guess I'm streaming for another hour now.
Yep. Yeah, I've had streams like that where suddenly, like, yeah, I've had streams like that where suddenly, like, the viewer count is not where it usually is. It's like, you know, in like 10, 20 or whatever. No, I've never had hundreds. That's fucking incredible, to be honest.
Oh yeah, no, and like
definitely
when
doing
chat
something
started
right
going
now.
like wild with that, and I was like playing the game for like 2 seconds and then getting another message, because like on PlayStation you get like a little pop-up in the corner of the screen when you have like a message, so I'd like look over at like my PC monitor like, oh, there's people, and like not even in a thing of like, oh, I had so many viewers, it was so nice, but just like I wasn't sure if I'd be able to keep up with a chat that has more people in it, but I kind of did, and I was like, that was partly my concern, was that I know I'm very distracted, and I'm also sometimes really bad at talking to chat. And I was like, oh hey, I can actually talk to chat when there's a lot of people, and it's not impossible for me to do it physically, and yeah, that was really nice. Like, that was the stream that got me up to affiliate, so it was like, thank you to all those people.
Yeah,
very cool.
I think that must have helped, to be honest. I feel like it's definitely helped. Having the people in chat to talk to has definitely helped with my confidence in just talking in general. Because Casper was saying it earlier, but I didn't want to talk over him because he was talking about something
nice
very
about us.
Casper was talking about like his stutter, which is quite personal to him. I don't have a stutter, but when I first started editing my YouTube videos, I realized how fucking quiet of a person I was. Like I couldn't understand a word. Yeah, that's hard to believe because you met me about half a year to 8 months after I started editing YouTube videos. And I'd realized how little I enunciated words, how much my brain sort of skipped over things, how fast I would read stuff in my head, so that when I would, like, if I was reading a note in a game or whatever, I would stumble over all of the words because my brain was reading it faster than my mouth could speak. And shit like that.
Definitely the same.
And it's really taught me to sort of slow down in those kind of moments, but also get louder and not be afraid of talking. And it's why I'm very out and proud about the fact that I'm quite loud now as a person, because I always have been to a degree if I'm comfortable, but I've been such a quiet person for such a long time that it, like, talking to strangers and stuff was really difficult, and now it's much easier. and I enjoy having that confidence, you know. And I think Twitch certainly helped me with that.
Yeah, I think Twitch has definitely like helped with confidence for me as well. Like I'm kind of excited to be able to like go out and talk to people a lot and stuff, because I remember I used to have a lot of issues with talking to people out in the real world, and like
same.
Sometimes I'd like be out with like family or something, and I'd be like, oh yeah, can you ask this person this thing for me, because I just don't want to deal with people. And like I will still do that sometimes, because like I don't want to deal with people, I don't want to be close to people, they're all full of germs. But I'm looking forward to when like
especially now
we're in a pandemic like hovering over my head, to be able to see if like the confidence that I feel like I've got in streaming like kind of carries over. And I kind of want to see going back to uni next year, is it going to carry over into that, and I'm going to be able to actually like talk to people instead of waiting to be talked to.
I definitely say that it does. Like even entering a text chat with strangers used to be too much for me. And now I'm in and out of other people's streams all the time, even people I've never seen stream before, just to drop by and say hello. And I went to a gig, which was my first gig in like over a year, to see exactly the same guy that I went to see a year ago before all the gigs got cancelled.
I miss gigs. What are those like?
Fucking amazing. Hey, Vavi. And it was incredible, and there was a little sort of quote-unquote after party afterwards, where we all just sort of went down to the beach with the singer-songwriter who we went to see. And we all just sort of sat around and chatted to a bunch of strangers, and I realized that I in no way would have been able to do that. Like, as we left the venue, knowing that the guy was going to be down by the beach that we went to see, part of my brain just went, okay, this is the point where you try and convince your partner that the best thing to do is go home. But then I was just like, actually, no, I could definitely handle this. It would be fun to just sort of interact with other people again for the first time in forever. And it was great. And I don't think I've really had much of that kind of experience of just going out to strangers and talking, but it's been great. And it definitely carries over 100%, I'd say.
I'm excited for when the real world is an option again. Soon.
Yes. Yeah,
I miss it.
Well, it's coming back. It's coming back soon.
That's
Do you
true,
think you would have got into streaming at the time you did if it wasn't for the pandemic?
I don't know. I think the pandemic gave me a lot of time at home that I normally didn't have. Like the things that got me into it were like, I always wanted to do something that was kind of content creativity. Like as a kid, I was like, I want to be an actor, which looking back on it, poor little me did not know the anxiety I was about to develop.
Yeah.
And then like in high school, I was in a band for a while, so I've kind of always wanted to do something that was like, I'm getting attention, and like people are like kind of like listening to me a little bit, and I'm like a little bit in the spotlight. Like I don't know, I've kind of always just liked the idea of that kind of thing. Like never in like a, oh, I have to have the attention, I'm just gonna seek the attention kind of way, but in like a, I like doing something that's a little bit more like, if people know my name, that's cool, because I've like kind of left some kind of a mark, you know?
Yeah.
But like, so I reckon streaming might have still happened.
Not a mark.
Because,
that's a completely different content creator.
Incredible comedy. Love to see it. But
no, I get what you
mean.
Like
it might still happen, because like Unasanis dying was like kind of the thing I needed to be like, nah, go and fucking do it. Because like the day after it died was when I uploaded the first YouTube video to the channel I currently have.
Yeah, well, the whole point was literally like, you have no idea how much time you've got left, and
yeah, exactly, and like it's depressing as fuck, but it's right.
And for some reason, there were so many people that didn't think Unasanis would end, and that's so strange to me. Like I always knew that it would end, and I loved the message that it was sending. But there's people there that were genuinely like,
they won't end it.
They won't end it. They're gonna bring this back straight away, and it's just like, no, that's not the point. Have you not been listening for the past year? Go out and do something. And I kind of get the feeling that the people that didn't think Unasanis was going to end have not picked up something new during the pandemic, because I think a lot of it was picking up new stuff, and I certainly, the pandemic certainly was a thing that prompted me to start this, because I was doing literally nothing.
Oh yeah, same. Like for pretty much the entire pandemic, I was getting ready to redo like my first year at uni because I like got sick during my first time round. So I was like, until September, I was literally doing nothing. And then after that, then the classes weren't really that engaging just because I'd already done those ones. So like for that whole year, I was just like, cool, I guess I'll just exist.
Yeah.
So streaming definitely actually gave me something to do to stop just like existing. And like, I still exist, but now I do more stuff with my existence.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
And like, I always used to struggle with, if I didn't do anything productive in the day, I'd feel like shit. But then because I wasn't doing anything productive and I wasn't applying myself to anything at all, I wouldn't realize why I felt like shit, and I would just go to bed feeling like shit, wake up feeling like shit, and do absolutely nothing to still feel like shit at the end of the day. And now
that's a massive, I have ADHD and depression mood, and like, exactly. I couldn't relate harder if I tried.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I go through my day just doing nothing, I'll just be like, I'm so depressed, and I may as well not exist because I am just sat here doing absolutely nothing, and I hate everything. And like, it's the worst feeling because I get like this.
It's horrible.
Like restless energy, and then I have nothing to put it onto, so it just builds, and then I feel even worse because I'm like, I'm restless, but I'm also sad.
Yeah. And yeah, that's exactly what it was like. And then I started editing YouTube videos every day, and trying to get out YouTube videos every day, which isn't as fun as streaming, I have to say.
No, I did exactly the same, and like, definitely not as fun. Like, I could stream every day so much easier than I could make a video every day, 100%. And like some days it takes much more time to stream every day because like I'll be like, oh cool, 12-hour stream today, let's go.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's fine. But just like
I'd rather do 12-hour stream.
Is a lot different.
I'd rather do a 12-hour stream than edit a YouTube video that's going to get 0 views for 12 hours. Because that was literally what it was. Like, I would record about 40 minutes of footage and then go and edit it. 8 to 12 hours later, I'd have the finished video. I could do an 8 to 12 hour stream and have a shit ton of interaction with people and have a great time. And my YouTube and my Twitch stream, which will then be like fucking 2 to 4, 8, 12 hours long, will get like 3 times the views of any YouTube video I've ever uploaded.
yeah, exactly. Like, I'm really happy that I'm at a point on Twitch now where I could not announce a stream and pretty much just start it up. And I'm decently likely to still hit like a 3 average, even with like no self-promo and like nothing like that. Like, and I feel really lucky that that's the stage I'm at, because like obviously I know not everyone is, and I feel like I hit that quite quickly. Like, I don't know how growth works on Twitch. I have no idea, but
it's
for
difficult.
my expectations of I'll get 100 followers by the end of this year, it's pretty quick.
Yeah. I definitely like to be at 500 by the end of the year. That's my, if anyone was to ask me, that's probably my like short-term goal in terms of just like a milestone to have achieved. And I've worked it out, by the way. This isn't like 100% accurate, but sort of, if I go on like big streamers and small streamers, and just like across the board, if I go onto someone's profile whilst they're live and look at how many viewers they have, say someone's got is averaging 3 viewers, they've got 3 viewers at the time I click on them, and then if I click on their page and I see how many followers they've got, it will usually be about 3% of people who follow you will be watching you, which means my goal, which I don't know why I worked this out, and it's definitely not completely accurate.
I think you're right.
It's just a very rough. It's just a very rough sort of estimate. But I think And it worked for me because, like, at 100 followers, I had about 3 people watching me most of the time. At about 150, it sort of eased to a bit of 4 and things like that. So I worked out that you need about 2.5 thousand followers to get that 75 average viewer goal. So that's my main goal. I don't think that's the end of this year, maybe, but I'm certainly trying to push for it for the end of next year, which might be a bit too optimistic, but you never know.
Nah, I mean, like,
it's
once
possible.
you start getting
it's
a
possible.
couple, like, I feel like a lot of this kind of content creation stuff, like, if you keep going at it and you keep pushing at it and you keep being, like, productive with it and actually trying,
yeah,
I feel like once you kind of start getting some momentum, that just builds. So, like, because I remember, like, when we started hanging out, like, we were both at, like, 10 followers, and, like, now we're both,
no, we had a bit more like that. We were about,
maybe.
like, 30 to 50.
Maybe.
I'm not too sure.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, when we first spoke, I had none.
Well, yeah.
You were my first one. You were one of the first ones. Look at you go.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I feel like we've both kind of started building like a nice momentum, and like I pretty much like at least a couple streams in a week, I'll get a follower or 2 on like each one, and like it's very cool. It's very nice. And like, we appreciate everyone who's there.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. I definitely appreciate everyone who's been along this entire time. Do you have it though, where the majority of followers that you've had, usually when you're offline? Do you have that, or is it just me?
No, I think that's just you. I've had a couple being offline. Really? And I've had some if I've like popped into other people's like streams and stuff, and like especially if I like know the streamer anyway, and I'll be like, yo, and they'll be like, hey, give this person a shout out, and then I maybe get like a couple from that, which is like obviously really nice because they're like people who are following me just at this other streamer's word, which is like very cool. And I've had like a few, like I know Barbie followed me like while I was at my dad's, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to stream, I'm not gonna make any progress this whole weekend, no, and then I got followed and I was like, oh well, that's my weekend made.
Yeah, there we go.
So that was very nice. But no, most of mine have come from like actually when I've been live, so like
interesting.
I'll occasionally just get like a stream that'll be like, and here's like 5 new followers, and then I'll get some that's like, and here's 1, and I'm like, all of them are good, but yeah, I hardly have any from when I'm offline, really.
Mine's sort of like a slow trickle, and most of it's offline content. Typically, a lot of the time I can come onto a stream, and I will have at least 1 person to thank whilst I was offline. And then during that stream, I may or may not get a follower during the actual live thing. But it seems to consistently be, like yesterday's stream, I turned off the stream and I immediately got a follow. Like, I literally I clicked the end stream button, and as I clicked it, I saw a new follower appear, and I was just like, "What the fuck? What?"
I was just like, "Oh my god, he's finally stopped streaming." Follow.
Yes, everyone who follows me is just follows me for me not being live.
They're just like, "Oh, if we get him enough follows, he'll just stop. He'll be content."
Yeah,
that'll be it.
Yeah, no, give me followers and I'll stop making content. I promise. I'll stop burdening you with it.
Oh, if only it was that easy. Like, if you want to follow and subscribe for like no content, like I'll be sad because I like streaming, but like fine, I guess.
Yeah, I love it. I'll create another Twitch channel where I make a bunch of content and have no followers on it, and just leave one there, just like doing nothing, and that's just gaining a shit ton of followers and subscribers. Yeah, I think I've talked a lot about a lot of things. I think we have. I don't have as much else to talk about. I don't think. Well, I don't have any more questions to ask. Is there anything else you would like to say on like the topic of streaming, being motivated to do it, starting it, different types of content creation, etc.? Anything we've talked about, really. Is there anything you'd like to add on to?
Well, I was gonna say, like, on the thing of, like, the goals, I think, like, a goal that I've been liking the idea of, because like I like to try and like properly set goals and like write them down and be like, this is a goal I have, because otherwise it kind of just goes and I'm like, cool, it has no substance to it now, so it's gone.
Yeah.
But like I think it would be really nice to like get to a point with like my like community and like how many people are often at my streams that I can be like raiding people with like quite a few people more often. So like, because obviously a raid with like 1 or 2 people, amazing. Especially if you raid someone who has like less viewers already, like that could like double or triple their viewer count.
Yeah, and you still show up as hosting.
Raiding people.
So even like someone could go online, see that you're quote unquote live, but then they click on it and you're hosting the person that you raided. So even if you're raiding with just 1 or 2 people, it's still worth it.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it would just be really nice to be able to like pretty consistently be like, and I've raided with like 5 people, I've raided with 10 people. Like it would be nice to build up the numbers that come with me on raids.
Yeah.
And like every raid is appreciated. Like I know that we raid each other like with like 1 or 2 people quite often, and like then sometimes we like go all in. Our community's just like backing us real well that day, and
yeah,
we just
it's always
with
nice
like a 10-person raid, and it's like
it's always nice to raid with a bunch of folks.
The 1 and 2 people ones are great, but it would be cool to have it being like more people more often, because especially then you can like use that what's the site, the like thing that's like no one's watching sort of site, and then you can like just completely make their day by being like, oh, you had like 1 viewer, well here's 10 more. Because like if someone did that to me when I was like just starting out, then I would have been like, hey, streaming's awesome.
Yeah, and like I would love
to build
the numbers. Unfortunately, if you ever go on your channel analytics and you go on your stream analytics, pretty much every single stream you ever do, as soon as people realize that you're ending the stream, there's suddenly a massive drop off on viewers, and that's just always going to happen, unfortunately. But yeah, definitely increasing the amount to raid with. But you know, if there is anyone listening to this that is, you know, is consistently raiding with only 1 or 2 people, that's still great, because at the end of the day,
for sure,
you're hosting that person, which gets new viewers in and followers in, and you're also showing that person that you know, someone gives a fuck, which is really, really nice. Right, unless you've got anything else to add, Sean, I think I'm gonna segue into a raid of my own.
Exciting times. I am good. I'm excited to see who we're raiding.
Well, thank you. Silent is currently doing a podcast as well. I just noticed. So I think in order to keep it podcast themed, which I think is a nice sort of little segue into, I think I'm going to raid Silent. So thank you for joining me for this anyway, Sean. It's been really nice.
Yeah, it's been a good time. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
No worries, dude, and thank you for talking a bit about the whole streaming thing, because I my main hope with it is that someone somewhere has either been listening this whole time or will listen in the future on the podcast archive channel, which you can find in the panels down below, by the way. Every single episode archived. Let's do it. And is that they will be able to look at that and know what it is to stream, know that the hardships of it, and know like different things about it that can help them get on their way or keep motivated if they're already on their way, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel like a lot of people who start streaming don't think it's viable as anything more than just fun, but I think it definitely could be.
It's definitely viable. And also, I would like to say, like, there's absolutely no shame in wanting to make something out of it that's material for yourself. Just enjoy doing it, because if the only thing that you're wanting to do is make money, that's going to take quite a while, and you'll probably end up being disappointed in the end anyway, because everyone will be able to tell that you're not enjoying yourself.